Some of the defining moments of the 20th century came as a result of the rise to power of Mikhail Gorbachev, the end of the Cold War, the walls in Eastern Europe coming down. The fact that he is praised in the West and generally scorned in Russia is his paradoxical legacy. News of his death has just come through this morning. He was 91. Europe correspondent Nick Dole has more from London.
Well, this news was announced by Russian state news agencies earlier this morning. They said that Mikhail Gorbachev had died in hospital after what they said was a long illness at the age of 91. Now, he is widely celebrated in the West for opening up the Soviet Union and opening up a dialogue with the West at a time of great tension. Crucially, he did help establish those weapons control deals, and those were so important because that was at a time of almost continual armament, and the Cold War risked turning into an all-out war, something that was ultimately able to be avoided. The way in which he refused to intervene at times of uprisings in Eastern Europe against various communist governments helped bring down the Iron Curtain, and it's those actions that have seen him get a lot of tributes, and they continue to flow in. We're getting more and more every minute, really. We've heard from the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, just recently. He said that Mikhail Gorbachev was a one-of-a-kind statesman. He said he changed the course of history. The world has lost a towering global leader, he said, a committed multilateralist and a tireless advocate for peace. I'm deeply saddened by his passing. We've also heard from the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who has tweeted this morning. He said that I'm saddened to hear of the death of Gorbachev. I always admired the courage and the integrity he showed in bringing the Cold War to a peaceful conclusion. In a time of Putin's aggression in Ukraine, his tireless commitment to opening up Soviet society remains an example to us all. And Ursula von der Leyen, also from the European Union, has said Mikhail Gorbachev was a trusted and respected leader. He played a crucial role to end the Cold War and bring down the Iron Curtain. It opened the way for a free Europe. This legacy is one we will not forget. Rest in peace, Mikhail Gorbachev. Of course, he had a complicated relationship with Western leaders throughout the 80s, including with Ronald Reagan. We've heard from the Reagan Foundation too, who pointed out that they were foes, they became friends, and paying tribute to the way that he led his country and helped establish a peaceful resolution to the Cold War. But we're likely to hear more from the US government, including Joe Biden, in the coming hours.
But Nick, it's actually quite a different story in Russia, where he's not so highly regarded.
That's right. This is one of those rare cases where someone's reputation in the West just really doesn't align at all with the reputation in their own country. He is regarded by some Russians, many Russians, as being responsible for the fall of the Soviet Union. But I guess the very fact that he gave them those freedoms to criticise him and to criticise the government is illustrative, really. This policy that he brought in of lifting government censorship, lifting government controls, and allowing people to actually dissent against the government has been exercised. You know, people would often tell him that they disagreed with him. People would hurl abuse at him, and he was heard on a number of occasions calling back, remember, I'm the one who gave you the power to yell at me. So he was keen to remind people of that. He did have another go at politics in the 90s, but was trounced. So he didn't come close to achieving power again. So there's certainly a division in Russia as to his legacy. One thing that does live on is one of the few, in recent years at least, few free publications that continue to criticise the Kremlin, Novaya Gazeta. He helped co-found that. So his legacy does live on in many ways, including through the press.
And Nick, what's Vladimir Putin had to say?
Not much. We have heard from the Kremlin in the last few hours that Vladimir Putin has sent condolences. A Kremlin spokesman says that Vladimir Putin will be making more formal condolences in a telegram to Mikhail Gorbachev's family tomorrow. But it's certainly no secret that the two were at odds. While Mr. Gorbachev wasn't a loud critic in the most recent years. He was ill as well, and he avoided, a large public criticism of Vladimir Putin. Those close to him said that he was devastated by what has happened in Ukraine in the last 6 months, and more widely the way that the direction that Vladimir Putin has taken Russia. He says that he's reported to have said that all of the work that he had done, his life's work, was being undone. These freedoms, this liberalisation, the hope that he gave many people in the Soviet Union and Russia now risks being lost due to Vladimir Putin's actions.